and thrilling the home crowd.
Well, that's really been one of the highlights of these championships, is to see the Chinese viewing public really able to express themselves. We've had people running around the stadium with flags, cheers, an absolute celebration after the men's gold. And again, the women looking to come back in this all-around competition. It's been a long time since China has taken the gold in an all-around event. They're fielding some strong competitors here, but, well, you can pick the mistakes out quite clearly in the slow-mo, Monica.
Yes, we saw double back straight. That's a big tumble, little girl. And 1.5 twist punch front. Obviously not the best twister. Her body mass perhaps doesn't lend itself so much to good long axis turning as it does to somersault rotation. Very interested in her score, though. But she certainly does look young. Judges have very, very strict requirements as regards penalties and content of the floor routines. All of the exercises at this level have to have a D element, which is worth 8/10, 2 C elements worth 6/10 each, 3 B elements worth 4/10, and 3 A elements worth 2/10. And they have special requirements, 7 of those, each worth 2/10, and then bonus points. So 9,375. Obviously not running into the bonus points. She didn't lose many marks on execution, but her start value, otherwise her tariff, not high enough to go into the big 9s.
Well, this is one of the performers who helped Australia take 6th position in the team competition, Alana Slater. And Alana will be beginning her campaign with a parallel bars performance.
Clear to blind. Nice Jaeger, pack somersault. Handstand top change, that's the C. Combination to the bar. Not very high scoring, but necessary. Back giant hop, well executed, straight into Jaeger, good combination. Some good work there from Alana, finishing with a full twisting double back. All of the requirements, interesting to see what they've given her start value. Most of these girls going off a 10 start value, depending on their form on the day. If a big skill has up to 2/10 penalty, then they lose their bonus points. Closer look there at the Jaeger somersault, innovated by the men and transferred to the asymmetric bars. And that was a nice combination from the Jaeger into the Gienger there. The full twisting double, no penalty on landing. A clean, very well executed routine there from the Australian.
Well, a 16-year-old from Perth who trains in one of Western Australia's sports institute. Nikolai Lapkin looking after the Australian women's team and really doing a superb job. A nation that really has started to come to form, and that's a pretty good start as well. 9,637 for Slater, going into 3rd position. Huang Mandan for China. 2 vaults, remember, for the women.
And that low landing, very deep knee bend, cost her 3/10, but she has got 2 choices. And this is quite confusing for our home viewers. The Chinese not electing all to wear the same leotard, wearing individual leotards. They're the Sukahara entry. Second hand slipped from the apparatus. So the half turn very late, the center of gravity dropping. See that second hand really not getting enough push, a very low landing. Takanata from Japan. The Japanese have the oldest and the youngest competitor in their 2 qualifiers. Takanata, the youngest of the two, youngest on the day. She's not yet 15 until the 22nd of this month. So a terrific experience for her. And so far going really well. A few arm bends here and there, which makes the exercise more tiring, and of course she accrues quite a few penalties. Oh, but a nice Arabian double front dismount. Not a problem, went through it, quite businesslike. A few technical errors which, as she matures, she'll get rid of in training, but coping extremely well. There, the Ginger somersault, Eberhard Ginger, the innovator, of course, on the men's side. There, the arm bend and the handstand, which should be a cast and is a press. Arabian double, a little untidy, but a big move, big skill. And well-spotted landing.
And with the Japanese men dominating for so many years, it is good to see two Japanese competitors come through to this all-around competition. 25th was their best result in this event in the previous Worlds in Lausanne back in 1997, and there's a strong possibility that Japan could feature in this all-around final. And a good start. Let's see how the judges see that score or see that performance coming through. And there's a little bit of Japanese support in the crowd as well, which is good to see.
It's very difficult at this level of gymnastics because really within this 36 we have three leagues. We have the Premier League, which are the top 10, 12 gymnasts, you know, and then Division 1, which is basically perhaps the 12 to 20, and then the last 16, and it depends very much, not so much on the physiological, but on the psychological aspect of their training and their ability to focus in competition and deal with the pressure of the situation, which really determines which league they are in between 3 and 2. But in League Division 1, they have the start values, they have the ability, they have the training and the backing. And it's nice to see when some of the other gymnasts can actually break into the Premiership. 9-3-1-2, very, very good score there for Maiho.
Well, we're just waiting for the beam to begin, and the reason why we're all looking at the beam is because, as our expert here in the box was pointing out, there's a couple of the Premier League players who will begin their day's work. There you see warming up Svetlana Korkina, who for me is the big favourite for this all-around event, and of course this is where she's got to work out exactly where she sorted or threw away the Russian gold.
I was just to say, that's just what she was rehearsing.
Same move.
Same move, yes.
Well, of course, Korkina also goes up against Simona Amanar, who also starts her all-around competition, and it was Amanar in her last performance who took the gold away from Russia. So already the psychological wars begin. And of course, it's a long time since Romania has won the all-around gold, some 12 years ago, with Svetlana Korkina looking to successfully defend her title. This is the second of the Italian qualifiers. And Italy, of course, well, with two competitors. That is actually Bergamelli, who is in the vault. Monica Bergamelli, who was a competitor in the last Worlds and also in the Europeans. One of their young stars that's starting to come through, 7th in the all-around Junior European Championships of last year. Well, the director very keen to not miss any of the top performers. Raducan, and that is actually Kormaskova for the Czech Republic, 3:02. But then after Kormaskova, we will see Korkina, and then also Simona Amanar will be the last of the performers in the women's beam. So it is Jana Kormaskova who will give us a demonstration of the beam for the first time this morning. Live action here on Eurosport from Tianjin. We're at the World Artistic Gymnastic Championships, and the director quite rightly focusing in. Shame he wasn't there a little earlier, because Britain's Lisa Mason was one of the early performers on the beam. But let's see how the Czech Republic fare in this first round of the all-around women's final.
Very steady performance so far. Looking well in control. I must stop doing this. Whenever I say somebody's well in control, they fall off, so I must use that statement very wisely. But that was unfortunate on her side somersault, because the side somersault, perhaps one of her D elements. Fortunately, she had a D mount. Whilst only one D is necessary, the gymnasts at this level should have more than the one, because if they